shown up in the way that the polls predicted it would.
We had him +8 at CNN. The New York Times had him +11. I don't know that Trump was ever leading in a poll in Wisconsin against Biden.
Not any poll that was that CNN would allow to be published on our website or put on air, that's for sure. But, you know, I should just point out again,
+8,
given what we saw
11?
in Milwaukee,
No.
that just gives you an understanding of the difference between the people who are voting in person on Election Day and that vote by mail.
Because all of the polls were predicting that he was going to face a big loss, and at the moment we still don't know who won. And that is part of what he is reacting to. Two things can be true at once. It can be true that the polling is a huge problem and has clearly not been fixed.
And lastly, these polls are not to be trusted. There's something wrong with the polling industry because the reason that people right now I think are hurt is because we got a little bit inflated with these polls.
We've been saying that. A YouTube video saying that in 2016 and yesterday. We already knew that the Trump polls were all fake.
Do you believe a single poll out there?
Yes, I think there is a better chance that Donald Trump does not run for re-election than he's reelected. There's no chance he's going to be reelected. And if you just take the events of the last 10 days, all right, obviously he has no control over the virus. He has no control over the tensions in the streets. He doesn't even have control over a North Carolina Republican congressional district. It's just nothing. He's lost control over everything. And of course, I see people call me with 15 different private polls a day, statewide polls, congressional polls, you name it. It all confirms everything that we're seeing now. And you can see the fear in the voice of these Republican politicians. I mean, there's zero chances to be reelected. Look at Peggy Noonan's column in the Wall Street Journal coming out tomorrow. The Wall Street Journal editorial page. Brian, you've been covering American politics almost as long as I've been involved in it. The Wall Street Journal editorial page is the go-to place for right-wing economic conservatism. It's gone. It's gone. And somebody's going to have to go tell this guy, look, you just can't risk the humiliating defeat that's going to come your way. And Jared or somebody's got to sit down and have a real talk, real man-to-man, come to Jesus, as people used to say. I don't know what it is, but this is that which can't continue will not. And the Republican Party can't continue in this direction. They got to think of something different. Look, Democrats by nature are nervous. They're so traumatized by 2016. They have to get over it. All right. And I get this all the time. Oh, James, please don't say that, because if people think we're going to win, they're not going to come out and vote. That's idiotic. We're going to win. What do you want me to do? Come on television, talk to Brian Williams, and lie to people? That doesn't do any good. That's not part of my persona. It's evident to everybody what is going to happen. Get over it. Toughen up, people. I mean, he's going to say whatever he's going to say. It is dropping at every level that you can imagine a politician's dropping. And that is just what is going on in this country now. I'm sorry. That's just the truth. Deal with it, Democrats. You're going to win.
All right.
Joe Biden has consistently now showed double-digit leads nationally. He's leading in most of the battleground states. You've got Republican senators, incumbents on the run, trying to hold on to their seats. Wrong track numbers, staggering. 75% of Americans say we're on the wrong track. Coronavirus on fire in states across the country. The movement that we've seen in the streets right now. And yet you have Democrats, I think probably because they felt burned by 2016.
I think there's a significant chance he doesn't run. I mean, this thing is going so poorly. He's so far back. It doesn't even, to me, it doesn't make much sense for him to run. This is the great Moscow Mitch strategy. After Labor Day, we're going to turn on him. That's really going to work. I mean, McSally and Ernst and Sullivan and Lindsey been licking his boots for 3 years and 9 months. But boy, come Labor Day, we're going to get some separation. The chances of that working are zero. He is going to drag the whole outfit down with him. Bill and his group, Bulwark, they're spending tens of millions of dollars, and me, Cleaver Weaver at the Lincoln Project, they're just bludgeoning him every night. I'm part of a group, American Bridge. We're spending $75 million in 77 rural counties. He has no idea of what he's getting ready to get hit with. There are a lot more patriots in this country than he ever thought. And people are just outraged, and they're coming together, and they don't care if they're Republican, Democrat, liberal, conservative. It's just a wonderful thing to see the way that certain creative, energetic people in this country are coming together to extract this menace from the body politic.
On nights like this, everyone in Washington wants to know, what does Charlie think? Charlie Cook is Washington's most experienced election analyst who always has the sharpest focus on the balance of power in the House of Representatives and the Senate, and the individual elections that can change those balances of power. Charlie Cook is a meticulously careful analyst whose judgments are never influenced by partisanship, just the facts that he finds in the data. On the presidential race, Charlie Cook is now saying, with something close to certainty, that Joe Biden will win the election, and the only question now is whether it will be a narrow win or a landslide. Charlie Cook says a landslide is more likely. He expects...
Take a look at where the polls are right now and compare it to where they were in 2016. Look, Hillary Clinton was ahead at this point. Back in 2016, she was up by 6 points. But look at where Biden is right now. He's up by 10 points. More than that, look at that. He's above 50%. Hillary Clinton was well below 50%. And that essentially means that even if Trump wins all the late deciders, those undecided voters, he still won't get enough to catch up to Biden, versus where we were 4 years ago, where all really Trump needed to do was win those late deciders, and he did, and that's why he won the presidency. Add that all together, that's a big reason why you're seeing Joe Biden with a much bigger lead than Hillary Clinton had.
So, Harry, help us understand this. Give us a little context. This state wasn't supposed to be anything like this. The president won by 22,000 votes. There was an entirely different set of expectations. I'm not breaking your chops about it, but
Please do.
how did we get here? What changed?
I mean, look, it just seems to me that the polling did not accurately reflect what was occurring in these Midwestern battleground states, right?
What's new?
That Seltzer poll that came out on Saturday, right? And people like me were like, whoa, that's strange. You know, I had Donald Trump up by 7 in the state of Iowa, and we said, if that goes across the state line into Wisconsin, we could be dealing with a much closer race than anticipated, because those two states' voting patterns are very highly correlated. Turns out that was right. But at the end of the day, Joe Biden is still ahead there right now. Now, that may shift around a little bit, but he's ahead right now. So it is what, you know, it's just...
Don't say it is what
I stopped myself.
I'll tell you why you can't say it. If it's 9,000 votes...
Trump says that.
And
this is the one where I think all of us have to have a little bit of humility. And a lot of people living in bubbles have to realize they don't understand America. Republicans way overperform. They're going to pick up House seats. I think Donald Trump was the only person who thought they were going to pick up House seats. They're going to keep the Senate. Trump could still lose, but he performed way better than most people thought that he would. Look at Wisconsin. Some of the polls, was it the Post or somebody, had a 17-point Biden lead. It looks like it's going to come down to a point or two. And so there's things happening in America that people don't realize if they're living in big cities. Something's happening with the Hispanic vote, at least in Texas, in Florida. This wasn't just working class white men that turned out for Trump. In almost every state, he overperformed what people thought he would do. And so we're headed towards some really, really rocky times. The president's been very clear what he's going to do. And we have to take him at his word that he's going to fight this all the way to the Supreme Court, and he is going to consider any Biden victory from this day forward to be illegitimate. And we've never been here as a country, never. And we don't have a lot of rules for what do you do if it's this tight in so many states? There could be recounts triggered in some of these states because they're so tight. It's going to be days, many days, possibly in Michigan or Pennsylvania, before you sort through all those mail-in votes and you actually get to a sort of a legitimate, officially sanctioned winner. And so there's so much that we're going to be unpacking in the coming weeks. But I do think, like, the one thing all of us can learn is to have a little bit of humility that there's something going on. And we talked a lot about it on the show, all these flags, the boats, everything. There's something going on out there that most of the media has been missing. And obviously Donald Trump and Republicans are the big beneficiaries of that as we sit here today, even if Trump loses the presidency.
Yeah, that's absolutely fair, and it's something that will be done. That certainly will be a huge conversation here on Morning Joe. But Joe, also, if we're looking at days or weeks as this is sort of settling out to see who has won the presidential election, I just wonder, looking at the first attempt to subvert the process last night by the president, the options and, if I may, the type of damage President Trump can do to this process.
Cannot encourage lazy ass Democrats to not go and turn out. If you don't want to go and show ID in person, you don't really want to vote enough. You should not be allowed to mail in a freaking ballot
in Michigan. They're not going to stop
like it's some freaking magazine subscription, mail off a subscription.
In Nevada, I mean,